Welcome to the Today Show Toronto. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan. We're down here, Toronto, Witchwood Barns. We're here in our live studios. You can see everything behind us, including our staff, our employment programs, our signs. We are super excited today as we have on a terrific gentleman, a veteran. We're so happy. We have all the way from the East Coast, we have Fabian Henry. Now, Fabian is the founder of Veterans for Healing. He's doing wonderful things for the community. He's doing wonderful things for his fellow veterans and their spouses and their families. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with Fabian Henry. Welcome back to the show. I want to introduce a terrific gentleman doing terrific things for the community. I want to introduce Fabian Henry. Fabian, thanks for being on the show today.
Hey, Jay, thanks for having me.
This is great. So obviously we've been checking out your website. We have so many interaction contacts. I want to thank Vince for introducing us. But again, so Fabian is the founder of Veterans for Healing, and I'm going to pass the baton to you because you're going to give us an overview, and then we're going to get right into it, Fabian.
Yeah, thanks again for having me on, Jay. It's a pleasure to share information and stories. One thing I've learned, at Veterans for Healing is that we all have pretty much a similar story. Trauma happens, trauma's trauma, and it's not about measuring it. It's measuring how you're dealing. And a lot of people are not dealing well with trauma. So what's been developed at Veterans for Healing is a 4-pillar process with a total health approach, including medical cannabis, therapy, family doctors, specialists, pain specialists, chiropractors, peer support, aftercare, family care, spousal support, spousal therapy, kids get therapy. All of this has to be under one wheelhouse in order to get effective treatment for an individual and their families to take a shot at mental health. It's a big issue across the world. We're here in little old Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia, taking a crack at it with our professionals. And the results are actually mind-blowing. So that's a little bit of what we're trying to do.
That's so innovative. So you've incorporated, obviously, the love of the East Coast people, like the nicest people in the world, obviously.
Right?
Newfoundlanders and everybody out there, you
That's
guys
great.
are great people. And you've incorporated music, and now you've incorporated health, because we were on your website and you have a slew of doctors on there, and they all, like you said, they all specialize in different fields. So
Right.
how did you? So let's take it back. So let's talk a little bit about your veteran life, and then talk about the transition when you got out. Like, you served for 12 years, right? 6
Yeah.
deployments. I saw that, which, congratulations. Thank you so much for your service. Amazing. Like, oh my goodness. Don't know what to say. Like, just thank you. So take us through the transition, like when you're actually getting out of the service. I'm probably using the wrong words, but and then transitioning into civilian life, and how you created this great platform.
Yeah, it's very difficult. The transition process is very difficult, and it was no easier for myself. And the reason is because we sign up as young men and women, and we're willing to basically lay down our life for our country. We wear the flag on our shoulder. We're very proud people. And definitely for the man and woman next to you when you're fighting. So that in itself has its own grip on you as they're training you and stripping you from your civilian life and building you up as a soldier. We're all soldiers, no matter what your trade is. So you buy in 100%, and then when it's time to move on, let's say, or be medically retired or be let go or whatever, there's a new term coming out that it's called a moral injury. We don't want to leave the military. We didn't want to not be able to work at a young age anymore. And we've sacrificed so much that we really just want to be treated properly and get better and get back at life. And that hasn't been happening to a degree of effectiveness. It's happening. There's options, but they're not effective options.
So let me jump in as a civilian and ask you. So when let's say you served in Afghanistan, which I know you did, and then you say your tenure's coming to an end. Do they make you leave? Like, can you stay?
No.
Oh, they make you like.
I did not want to leave the Canadian Forces after 12 years, and they basically said, we've broken you so much that you're no longer usable to send overseas and deploy anymore, so we're going to let you go. Yeah, I know,
Wow.
and it's okay, man. It really is okay. It's if you think about a military, they have to be well serviced and well oiled, and if you're not a well oiled part anymore, then they have to put a new well oiled part on. I get that. That's okay.
But can't you go into another position that's non-combat within the military? But I guess they can't give everybody jobs, right? I mean,
Yeah,
in
and they
reality,
can
they can't, right?
accommodate so far, but
Yeah.
PTSD and severe PTSD doesn't want to sit at a desk.
And is there any, I mean, I'm going to say it, but besides our platform, is there any other platform that is willing to take the baton to help?
To be honest, there's not a lot out there. So I really appreciate you, Jay, and trying to share this information because it is valuable and important for those who are struggling on, for example, the pharmaceutical cocktail to treat trauma. That's
That doesn't make,
conducive to treatment. That's not helpful. And there's evidence to show that's not helpful in the form of we lost more men and women that made it home to home soil than the entire Afghan conflict. That should be very alarming, you know?
that does not make sense, Fabian, how you
Yeah.
put, like you said, you put your life down,
Yeah.
right? And you get all messed up for, serving, seeing all that, horrific, things over there or wherever you are. And then they put you to the side instead of saying, we owe you our life. Like, whatever we're going to do, we're going to make sure you're comfortable, whether you can work or not, but we're not kicking you to the curb. So yeah,
I agree.
we got to change that. We
We
got to
got to
change
change
that.
that. And that's what Veterans for Healing is about. We're trying to change and give an option B to treatment versus option A, which isn't working and which we witnessed over a decade.
Why don't we do
So
this? Why don't we take a quick break? Because when I come back, I want to talk to you about how you have incorporated the marijuana industry into your platform, along with the music industry, because I know the music is probably just as important as the marijuana on a different level, right? On a different
the
level.
music brings us together. The cannabis allows us to stay together, you know?
Oh, that's a killer saying. I love that saying. So on the show today, we have from Veterans Healing, we have the founder, Fabian Henry. He's telling us all about his wonderful platform, his service, how he's helping his fellow man and woman in service and, civilian life too. So stay tuned. You're watching the Today Show Toronto. I'm Jay Stoyan. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. On our show today, we have from Veterans for Healing, we have the founder, Fabian Henry. I love your name, Fabian. How did you get the name Fabian? Where did you get that name from?
That's funny. I'm a 4th-generation coal mining family son, and my dad's name is Fabian Henry. So they weren't very,
Okay.
basically three brothers in a coal mining community named their first sons after themselves. So how original were they?
I was going to say maybe it's from the singer because you are a performer, right? You are a musician.
Unfortunately, I cannot sing, although I try.
So let's talk about how you have founded, like how you incorporated the marijuana industry, how you guys got involved, and obviously the benefits.
Yeah, so way back when, 2013 or 14, when the medical cannabis industry woke up, let's say, marijuana for trauma was at the forefront of that, and that was a program that I ran, and it was about access at the beginning. It was
Okay.
simply about there was no access to this medical cannabis, but there was access to lots of pharmaceuticals. Now, over the next decade, through marijuana for trauma and other clinics and physicians learning and patients getting educated and medical professionals learning, it's pretty simple to get access to medical cannabis today.
Okay.
So, over several years, we've learned that there's such thing as precision medical cannabis. That means a combination of terpenes and THC together will target symptoms of trauma. For example, hybrid indicas in general target PTSD symptoms. Now,
Wow.
how you use this medicine is very important, and going low and slow is very important. But for our fellow brothers and sisters in the States and other countries, it breaks my heart that they do not have the simple access to this plant medicine as an option to the pharmaceuticals. We already know that they are failing because they're losing 22 men and women per day. How is
That
that not alarming?
that's so funny because my friend in the United States, he was a medic and he served, right? And his mission is suicide. That's his mission. His mission. I'll introduce you to him. He's a wonderful, and he actually has 10 acres in Illinois. He's a
Yeah.
10 acres, and he got a building donated. So what we're doing is we're helping him fill the building because he's kind of want to make a one-stop shop for all veterans, and to prevent suicide. So sorry, go
It's
ahead. Go ahead.
needed. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's needed. And to prevent suicide, you'd have to start back at the release process, getting out of the military, whichever military, because none of us have an effective treatment plan leaving the military. When we get out and let go, there's no one holding your hand anymore.
Uh,
And you don't have the tools or the skills to figure it out on your own. You're going to go down a deep, dark wormhole.
so tell me where you are today with the marijuana and the results, the benefits from it.
So today we have a federal license from Health Canada to sell licensed producer product across this country. We have a
Wonderful.
partnership with Aqualitas to sell their product. We could sell other people's product, but it's important for us that it's organic, it's clean green certified as a starting point. We don't want a radiated product or it had mold in it and you had to bake it down. They call it e-beaming. We
Oh, I
don't
just want
want.
to let you know there's a lot of people commenting now because this is live on our Facebook page.
Oh,
This
great.
is going live. So we have people commenting right now. I can see it. So just to let
Well,
you know,
hello,
you're doing
Facebook land, and
doing
hello,
a
live
great,
people.
yeah, you're doing a great thing.
Get
And
into the
you're
medicine. Sorry, Jay, but the beautiful medicine in the cannabis, I really respect her. She's a divine feminine, and I appreciate her every time I use her to treat my symptoms. And not enough people are showing gratitude for this beautiful medicine. People are still putting her down and down and down when she's just trying to help us,
Can you share a couple expressions from people like fellow veterans who have taken it that have said, well, you know what happened? Like this is like, oh my God, like
I've never slept in 20 years until I've used this medical cannabis, and that happens all the time. And mostly for the older folk, they're like, I've never stood up straight like this from using CBD, which nobody even is getting high from. So if you're not
wow.
putting 100 to 200 milligrams of CBD in your body per day, you're probably not even close to putting enough in to get relief.
And
You know,
who is the biggest who's your biggest, I guess, we don't want that, the pharmaceutical industry?
yeah, and the Canadian Armed Forces
Yeah.
and the pharmaceutical industry and the hard stance kind of people. Um, they're mostly not so against it, but soldiers still must try and fail first line treatment being pharmaceuticals before they get onto this cannabis, which to me that's harmful. More research, more education. The plants should go before the pills, not
Yeah.
after the pill.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So let's go through a scenario. So I'm a veteran, right? I'm retired from service now, but I'm out in Alberta
Yeah.
and I found you online. Take
Yeah.
me through the process of What happens? I call
Yeah.
you because I'm lost. I'm like,
You reached out and you found us online, sent a message, say, I need help.
Yeah.
And basically you would get connected to me through our team. And it starts with a 1 hour phone call of me investigating, why are you lost? Oh, okay, they kicked you out just like they kicked me out. Do you have a PTSD claim or any claims at all? If no, I can help you submit one to Veterans Affairs. Do you have a family doctor? No, okay, we have a doctor. Do you have any specialists to help you? No, we have those. Do you know how to navigate you're entitled to this income replacement benefit and a voc rehab program to try and get you better? Never heard of it before. Did you know you're entitled to the VIP? What's that? Did you know you're entitled to additional pain and suffering? What's that? Did you know your partner's entitled to the caregiver benefit, $1,000 a month tax-free? And then they sit back and say, what is that?
wow.
Well, that's for your wife putting up with your shit, man. And she's the unpaid caregiver at the moment. But she reminds you to brush your teeth and get out of the house and take your medicine and eat your food and stop being cranky. Yeah, that's an unpaid caregiver who needs to be acknowledged.
Wow. And does
These
this
are the things we
cost?
walk you through, depending on your situation.
Is there initial cost at all?
Everything in this program cost $0.
Wow, that is
$0. This will never cost you a dime. If you feel like we've helped you and you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars, we say feel free to donate to the coffee fund we have.
And you're knee deep in this, because I can tell.
Knee deep, like
Knee deep. That's
navigating
great.
systems all the time.
That must really help when a veteran is talking to another veteran, right? Who's already been through it. Right?
That's where the trust comes in, and I give them, or we give them as a team, what's called active hope. All right, I'm going to tell you I'll do all this stuff for you, but you still probably think I'm full of shit because everybody's treated you bad for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, the hope doesn't go into trust until you've actually done something where in return they've got something out of your help. Then they've got a glimmer of hope and a glimmer of trust and like, okay, I'll take the next step now and the next step. And you just line it up for them and give them their homework. And eventually, after months and years of work, this isn't easy, then people are getting better. Not curing people, but they're getting better.
Do they physically have to come to see you?
Not all the time, but
Not
if you
all
have
the
a
time.
physical injury and you need to physically see the doctor, then yeah. But if it's a mental health issue with today, we have options to do things virtually, just like we are today.
And this is all financed and it's all good to go. So that's
and I'm very thankful for the Canadian Veteran Affairs. A lot of people put them down and say bad things, but I'd like to put out a line and say, no, I'm very appreciative. They've taken care of me now that it's acknowledged, and they do take care of people, but it's just hard to navigate those benefits that they do have available. No one knows how to get them.
Well, I got to commend you because like we're dealing with the VA and we deal with the government, and you got to be tenacious. Like very because they get a lot of requests, right? And they got their plate full, but you slip through the cracks. You got to bang on their door every day. You know.
There's so much work to do that the VA here in Canada represents 25% of the veterans in Canada, which means 75% are out there that don't have not one single connection to the VA yet. So there's 10 lifetimes of work to do with 40,000 vets in Nova Scotia alone. And, I can only help so many people.
Well, what I'd like to do, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk some fun because I want to talk music with you. So, but before we do that, what I'd like to do for the channel, because we're doing it out here in Ontario. So if we can be of any assistance to you, Fabian, through media, through our education, through our programs, through our connections in the Ontario government or federal government, like we're doing. And then also we have the Invictus Games coming up, which we're going to hopefully be a big part of. So things are really coming together, but the channel would really like to reach out and help you. How many members do you guys have?
We're just pushing 500 now.
Great. Wow.
We're taking our time, Jay, because the mistakes happen when you open the doors and let the flood run in versus managing people properly.
Yep, I like that idea.
So we're not in a hurry, and we're taking our time, and it don't matter how many come. We're going to keep our pace, and so that we can take care of the people that are actually in our company.
So let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about music and obviously what you guys have coming up so we can showcase and share it for you guys. So stay tuned. You're watching the Today Show Toronto. I'm Jay Stoyan. We'll be right back.
All about inclusion and really giving everyone a fair say.
Welcome to the Today Show. This is our flagship show. I am Unstoppable Tracy.
I am Zach Damon.
It is a pleasure to be here. I am excited. What is up?
We have a great show today.
Jay Stoyan here for the Disability Channel, the world's only inclusive channel for and by persons with disabilities.
Get ready to be inspired, everyone.
We have people watching from all over the world, but also all over Ontario.
We also take a concerted attention in the veterans community.
In moments of stress and trauma, we can get a hold of ourselves.
To help make a difference for people with disabilities, to show people how to love themselves or their disability.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me, giving this platform for myself and other people with disabilities.
Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this episode of the Disability Channel of Detroit. Please tune in next time.
Welcome back to the show. We're here with Fabian Henry. Now, it's called Veterans for Healing Clinic, right? It's a clinic, right?
Yeah, part of our work is doing clinical work, yes.
That's great. That's great. I'm just looking through your notes, and it's just like you served in Afghanistan, you served in Haiti, you served in Pakistan, 12 years. What is a combat engineer?
That's a great question. It's a sapper. Everybody that's been into combat engineers, they know what a sapper is.
Okay, what's that?
Basically, the lowest rank in the Canadian Armed Forces. You're a private, but you're a hard worker. Let's just say that you're going to be thumping pickets and building bridges. And
you're a grunt. You're a grunt.
And you're pretty much a grunt, but with a bit of a brain.
That's great. So let's change courses here and tell me about how the music has helped the veterans and what you guys have going on. Because Vince tells me all the time, you just went out to the East Coast, a couple months ago. So tell me your music world and how it helps.
So it started from I went to Colorado. I was invited down for Songwriting with Soldiers. A beautiful lady down there hosts a program. And I got to tell my story and had it turned into a song by some artists. And it was very, very awesome. So I can just press play instead of keep telling my story over and over. And I thought about bringing it back to Canada and integrating wellness with the song healing, not just writing a story. So I hosted our first one a few years ago. I hired an artist named Keith Mullins. He's an ECMA award-winning artist here on the East Coast, and it's his program. Okay. He's the musician and the director of our music. So I flow all that through him. He's the expert on it. What I do is facilitate. I book the accommodations. I handpick the people that come down. They have to be interviewed. They have to have a therapist. They're on the medicine. So when they come to tell their story that's vulnerable, they're not too triggered. And the artist can draw out of that and turn it into a song for them. And then he goes away over the winter and turns it into a live album you can buy online today. And we have 2 live albums. One of them was nominated for an ECMA ourselves.
Yeah, I knew that. I saw that.
And Vince was part of that.
And let us showcase it. I would love to showcase it on our music show. I'd love to have Keith on as a guest too.
I would love to have him on. Keith Mullins. If you go on Bandcamp and type in Keith Mullins, you can buy the album and support.
Well, that would be wonderful. We'll even promote the album for you on our site.
Very cool, man.
Yeah, so it seems like music is really an outlet for you guys just to sort of help to heal a little bit, right?
Huge. It brings us all together. You don't need to be able to play guitars and all that. If you can bang 2 sticks together, you can participate.
And what do you play, David? What do you play?
I try to fool around in the guitar a little bit, but people got to be by the campfire for a long time before I'm going to start singing.
Yeah, me too. I'm a little bit of an amateur guitar player. Yeah, it helps, right? It helps. I play it every day. It just sort of I get lost, right? I get lost, and for me it's so challenging. Like, oh my goodness, it's like
right.
crazy.
And you'd have to practice daily to get really good at it. But no one has to enjoy music. It brings us together. The vibration of the music, the medicine, the whole food, the hiking, the waterfalls, the beaches we have, the horses. It just feels good, man. And you need to figure out why.
Music makes the world go round, right? For sure.
Absolutely.
So before I let you go, if people want to find out more, Fabian, about your platform, how they can get involved, how they can help you, how if they need to reach out, where could they go?
The letter V, the number 4, healing.com.
And we'll put that on
message on the website, and that's the best way to get a hold of us.
Well, that's great, Fabe. I really thank you for taking the time today. Again, I honor you for your service. I thank you for your service and all the great things you're doing out there on the East Coast. And who knows, maybe we will take a road trip and come see you guys.
That would be amazing, Jay. You're always welcome, you and the team here, and we're pretty good hosts on the East Coast here.
That's great. So again, regardless, we do definitely want to support you. So if we can do it in any which way, we will. So again, on the show today, we had on Fabian Henry. He is the founder of the Veterans for Healing Clinic, doing wonderful things for his fellow veterans. So Fabian, again, I thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks,
we're gonna take a quick break, and I'm gonna come back and wrap the show.
Are you currently on ODSP? If you're interested in social media marketing, TV production, podcasting, or getting off assistance, please contact Jay Stoyan at 647-339-6847 or Jay at thedisabilitychannel.ca. The Disability Channel, showcasing abilities.
Welcome back to today's show, Toronto. I'm Jay Stoyan. On the show today, we had on founder Fabian Henry from the Veterans for Healing Clinic. Wonderful guy doing wonderful things for the community. Again, we're going to be posting the show. We're going to be posting a link. So if you're a veteran out there, or if you know a veteran out there that is down on their luck, they're suffering a little bit, great platform. You can either contact us through the channel, and we will put you in direct contact with either Fabian or Vince or the team, the platform. So again, you're watching the Toronto Today Show. Before I let you go, I just want to give some updates. Watch for the Evictus updates, as we're going to be heavily involved in promoting and participating. Well, not participating, media-wise. Again, we have another employment program for veterans cohort starting in October, which is free. You can check us out on Bell. You can check us out on Kojiko. We have a radio show on Sirius XM doing wonderful things. I want to thank Joe and Balai for giving us opportunity. Again, we're down here in Toronto, Witchwood Barns, Christy and Bloor. Come on down, say hi. We love to interview you. Again, I'm Jay Stoyan. We'll see you next time on the Today Show.